I'm going to show you on this front load LG WM2301 how to troubleshoot lack of water. There's many different symptoms to that, why you may suspect you're not getting enough water in your washing machine. It may stink. If it's not getting enough water flushed through the washing machine, it's going to start smelling bad. It's not cleaning itself on each cycle. That's a common problem on our front loads. Your clothes may not be getting clean. Obviously, that's a big red flag. The other we're going to start with is a noise on the startup sequence. You can tell if proper water is getting in your washing machine. What you're going to want to do there is turn on your washing machine. Just start a normal cycle, and we're going to listen. So we can hear the door lock. It's spinning, so it's sensing the load size. Then we should hear the valves actuate and the water come into the washing machine. That's the proper sound we want. You hear a valve actuate and then water flowing in. That's exactly what we want to hear. We're hearing a valve trying to actuate, but no water is entering. It's just a humming noise. So there's two valves on these machines, one for hot water, one for cold water. One of the two is working on this machine, the other one is not. Let's figure out why that is. The first thing we want to look at on these washing machines, is it too close to the wall? Are these lines pinched? You can see these lines have 45-degree connections on here on the wall, so those aren't pitched. And the same on the machine. So I've had that problem in the past where these lines are kinked because the washing machine is so close to the wall. But that's not the case now. So we've eliminated the lines. That's the first thing to check to see if your lines are kinked. The easiest way to check that is pull your machine out from the wall a little bit, run it again, see if it's getting water. If those lines are easier than you think to bend off, and your machine won't be getting water, it'll make that same noise. But we got to take the top off here and see what's wrong with one of the valves in here. I suspect that's what's going on this particular machine. To remove the top, we've got these two pieces on the back. They go right back here. They've got two screws. You need to take those out. Once you've got those two plastic pieces off, you can take the top and slide it back. And remove it. With the top removed, it exposes our valves. So we can see we've got the hot water valve and the cold water valve. These electrical connections are what controls it opening and closing. Let's run another cycle and see if we can pinpoint which valve is working and which one isn't. Just pumping water out because we shut it off before. So this valve is working currently. But there's three of them on this one bank to put to different locations. This one's for the detergent. It's this hot water valve is not working, I can tell. And then unplugging it, We don't hear it anymore. That confirms it. So this valve is not working. Let's shut the water to it. Shut the water off. And turn our cycle off. All right, we have our hot water valve from Amazon. Came today. Look at that, 10 bucks. Let's get this thing on there and see if it fixes our problem. To help with your search on Amazon, what you want to do is open your door and look at your tag here and find your model number. This one's WM2301, so washing machine 2301. And of course it's an LG. So if you punch those two things into Amazon and say water valve, you'll come up with a bunch of different options for your machine. Okay, let's get this new valve installed. We can take our top off. This is our hot water valve, so we'll disconnect the wires. Then we can disconnect our hose here. There should not be any water in this side. First, turn our water valves off on the wall, just to make sure. Then we've got a simple pinch clamp, so you need a pliers. Pinch that together. And this hose will be stuck on there a bit. Basically goes on this barb fitting, so we got to get it off that barb. You'll need to pull fairly hard and it comes off. So we've disconnected our wires. Here's our valve. We removed this pinch clamp. Now we have to remove the water hose from the back here, and then we can see there's two screws holding it on that we have to access from the back. They're Phillips head screws. Access is a little bit tight, so it'll be hard to film that, but we got to get the water hose off from the back there and remove those two screws. We'll turn our washer here as much as possible to get a little bit more access. That's plenty. And I'm gonna get a towel to put this in because this will be full of water, this line here. So we just removed our water line from the back. I recommend using this 90-degree fitting. You can buy at any big box store, Home Depot, Menards, Lowe's, things like that. With these tight clearance behind the washing machine and the way this fitting comes straight back, it'll easily pinch this hose and you won't get water, and that's another reason for this, even if your valve is working. So these are very nice for that. So we'll set that off to the side. The next thing we have to do is use our Phillips screwdriver and take the screws out back here. Try not to lose those screws. The new one does not come with screws, so we gotta retain those. There we go. There's our old valve and our new valve. Let's get our new one in there. So we just have to slip it in place from the inside here. Put our screws back in. Hardest part is getting these screws back in without dropping them. Let's see if we can do it. All right, I think we're doing it. Okay, we've got our screws tightened. Now we're gonna put our hose back on. Okay, we're done on the back side. We can slide our washing machine back in place. Then we can put our hose on the washing machine side on. Put our pinch clamp back in place. Okay, turn our water on. Reconnect our electrical and we'll test it out, see if it's working. Moment of truth here. That's the drain. Here's our cold water. Should have our hot water next. Still not getting any water flow. Alright, this is very odd. Our valve is getting power, we have a new valve, so I don't think that's the problem anymore, but we may not be getting water to the valve. So I'm going to disconnect that hot water hose. Not a lot of water came up when we took that off, so that's a little bit of a red flag. I'm going to take that off, put it in our laundry sink here, and turn the valve on the wall and see if we can get water flow out of the hose. Maybe for some reason the hose is plugged up. Let's take a look. It is suspiciously dry in this hose. I don't know why that would be. But let's take a look. Just fits over the sink here. And I'm getting no flow out of here. That is bizarre. So I confirmed that there's something in this hose that's blocking our water flow, even though I can blow through it. Sometimes it's not the hard solution. Sometimes it's something silly. So let's get our new lines on here. I did look up, what can go wrong with washing machine lines. And what I didn't realize, and what you probably didn't realize, is on the water supply side of the line, there's actually a little backflow prevention, a little check valve, a spring and rubber piece in there. So that must have been stuck in the line that was on our hot water side and failed. So I guess it makes sense to replace these lines occasionally for that. They fail, especially if you have hard water. That would be a contamination that would deposit, especially on the hot water side. Water hardness comes out of solution as you heat water up more, so that's why you've got problems on the water side, on the hot side. So I do have a water softener, but I put it in about a few years after we moved in, so maybe there was contamination from that. So we'll see. Let's get these connected, and I think this is going to solve our problem. Do our hot water first. Get our cold water line on. Let's run this sucker again. I think we finally fixed our problem. Well, the cold water's definitely working. And our hot water is now working. Hallelujah. Problem solved. All right, let's put our cover back on. I hope you learned how to troubleshoot lack of water on your washing machine. This LG washing machine has been actually quite good. It's about 9 years old now, going on 10. Has not given us any problems at all. And in fact, it was the water lines, not the washing machine. So troubleshooting is an important part of it. You might have bought a new washing machine thinking there's something wrong with this and you'd still have the same problem. It was just the simple water line. Next time, I'm going to start with that instead of trying to troubleshoot on the washing machine. Thanks for watching. If you did find some value in this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Also hit the like button on the video. Well, I guess I have a spare hot water valve now. If anybody needs one out there, let me know. I'll send it to you.